All right, welcome
we have
to.
we have a mascot. Since
We have a
don't
mascot.
Our,
We have a mascot. Excellent. So as you can tell, we're not broadcasting from the home bar. We're broadcasting from. Look at that! Is that not so cute? That is awesome. He would go for Beauregard and
yes.
Aloysius.
Yes.
Beauregard and Aloysius, right? Because that's where they are on the
That's
bar.
where they are.
Right. So we're actually in Kansas City visiting friends, and so we are broadcasting from their kitchen, in fact. And so we're going to make a few cocktails that are based upon a find that we ran across in their bar, which is this bottle of Benedictine. This is actually B&B as opposed to Benedictine, but close enough. This is, near as I can tell, a 1960s, 1970s era bottle of Benedictine. So we are...
Can you do a camera close-up on that?
Sure. And we are going to make some cocktails using that. We did taste it ahead of time to make sure that it was not poisonous to any of us. So it should be fine. We should be good. We were originally going to do a taste test of that against the existing B&B, but we were unable to find a small bottle, and there was no way we wanted to leave them with a large bottle of Benedictine that they're not ever going to drink in their lifetime, probably. So we are going to do 3 drinks this evening using primarily rum, but also some vermouth and some Benedictine in them, and just compare the different flavors of those drinks. But first, we're going to do a toast, and I have always wanted to play around with some non-alcoholic distilled liquors. And so one of the things that we've purchased is the Spice 94 from Seedlip, and we're going to do a toast with that. So there's no alcohol in that, and we can just pour a little in here.
Amanda wants to know if those are shaker and spoon dash bottles.
Are those shaker and spoon dash bottles? You mean these guys right here, the little ones? Those are in fact shaker and spoon dash bottles. Those of you that have seen me on travel before will know that that's how I managed to carry 5 or 6, or 1, 2, 3, 6 different bottles of bitters with me when I travel, so that I can play around with bitters and not have to carry big bottles of bitters, which would be
all in your case, yeah.
right. So I can fit it all in my case. They're also conveniently well under the FAA's, allowance for liquids, so that's not a problem.
Terry,
Hey, Greg.
from California, and Elizabeth.
Excellent. Not from California.
No.
Nope. All right, so there are 4 of us here. So there's myself, Pooch, your host for Lovecraft Cocktails, my lovely beloved wife, Star, your co-host and technical advisor, technical team for Lovecraft Cocktails. Right. And then we are broadcasting from Jack and Mary's place.
Yeah, so we will introduce you to Jack and Mary.
So here's Jack. Here's Mary. Did I get that right? Yeah, I got that right. Yeah. And Jack has known Star longer than Star has known herself. Because because
Jack used to pet my mom's tummy and I would kick him.
Right. Yep.
Yeah,
that's
pretty much.
Yep.
Yeah.
And so we're here visiting them for the long weekend, and visiting a few other people. Shout out to Jeremy and Kenna that came over.
Yeah.
Shout out to
Teeter,
David and Chris
and
Teeter and all sorts of various people. So seems good. We're going to now. I have not tasted the Seedlip previously, so I do not know what the Seedlip tastes like, other than it should be slightly in the baker spice realm of things. It's their closest analog that people use to a rum. Clove, probably clove, yeah. Yeah, definitely get clove. So we're going to do the traditional toast that we have done all weekend long, which was to family and friends and the intersection thereof. Because, oftentimes your family is your chosen friends.
Oh, that's nice.
So they recommend.
There's definitely clove there.
Oh, that's
but there's
huge
more
clove. Wow.
Smell than taste.
I ate a lot of clove. A little citrus, like little orange. It's like orange and clove. It really is orange and clove, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
They recommend pairing this with a little bit of soda water or something like that, and make a fizz out of it. You could add certainly a little sweetener to that and make kind of a soda out of it. So
Really refreshing.
I'm not. It would be better colder. I think definitely. So, you know, you just
So,
shove that in the fridge.
CLIP is part of the movement of having quality, non-alcoholic cocktail ingredients to make low and no ABV cocktails more approachable and better quality than just,
And
you know,
take away whatever stigma seems to be attached to them for no good reason.
yeah.
Yeah, I could totally play with that.
Yeah,
That's easy
yeah.
enough. Yeah. Do you want to play bar back and rinse out glasses as we use them and that sort of thing? That would be awesome. Okay, so we're just going to dive in and start with cocktails this evening. So Jack and Mary do not do a lot of drinking. I think that may be an overstatement, right?
We drink.
They drink, but yeah. So one of the things I wanted to do is not load up their house with alcohol. You know, I wanted to use up some of what they had and not gift them with too much stuff that they're like, what do I do with this? So what I was looking for Benedictine drinks were drinks that had vermouth in them, because I can pretty easily just leave bottles of vermouth with them and they can cook with them or have a little tipple or whatever. So we have bought 2 different bottles of vermouth. We have your Martini and Rossi Rosso, so this is a red sweet vermouth. And we also have one that I have not tried before, which is Ransom Dry Vermouth. And I'm really interested in trying this. And that's what we're going to start with, is the Ransom Dry Vermouth. So a couple weeks ago, we had a death. We had a death in the world family, I guess, which was Queen Elizabeth. And in the 1930s, I forget which company it was, ran a cocktail contest for, I think it was for the best use of Benedictine in a cocktail. And the gentleman that won did a drink called the Queen's Elizabeth, and it was not actually named after Queen Elizabeth, it was named after his wife, Elizabeth. But his cocktail won, and it's very, very simple. It uses dry vermouth, it uses Benedictine, and it uses lime juice. That's it. That's all that's in the cocktail. So we're going to give this a try, and we'll do a little shout out to Queen Elizabeth, who passed away. So what do we need to do? We need a shaker. So I'm going to go over here, grab my shaker. And what did I say? We're going to do just a full cocktail and then split that cocktail amongst the 4 of us, right? That's how that's going to work? Okay. So we need 1 ounce of dry vermouth.
We have a key.
Okay, I can't do this without doing this. I need to taste the dry vermouth. That nose is really nice.
If you're a vermouth fan, you want to try the vermouth. You want to pour Mary some of that as well?
Yeah, you should try this. This is for a dry vermouth. Oh, if you like dry vermouth, I think you were going to like this. There you go. Anything you don't want, you can just drop in my glass. We'll be fine. Doesn't that smell awesome?
Yeah.
So we're going to go 1 ounce of dry vermouth.
It's like just getting like this warm, almost honey kind of.
Yeah, which is a little, but not sweet, right? It's still a dry vermouth, which I find kind of fascinating. Okay, so here's the B&B or Benedictine. No, B&B and Benedictine are not exactly the same thing. There are slight variations between them. I think the Benedictine is a little sweeter. I'm sorry, the B&B is a little sweeter, which will probably be fine for this crowd, would be my guess.
How much?
That's a ½ ounce of Benedictine. And as is befitting a bottle from, 60s or 70s, the cork completely died trying to take this out of here. Jack's like, nope, no. Nope, he winced. You physically winced, though. All right, ½ ounce lime juice. It is bitter. Vermouth is, in fact, slightly bitter because of the herbs, the aromatized herbs that are in it.
Taste like it smelled.
So much better than the Tribuno, which was our other option for dry vermouth. And I'm very glad we went elsewhere to get vermouth. Okay, we're going to shake this up. right? I got the ½ ounce of lime juice. I got the
Yep.
½ ounce of Benedictine. I got the full ounce of dry vermouth.
Yep.
As a reminder, I haven't said this in a while. If you are shaking a cocktail, you want to make sure that this open end of your shaker is in fact facing toward you. Because if the seal breaks and you are this way, it is going to go all over your camera or the patron or whatever. This way it just goes all over you, and then you go change your shirt and everything's fine. Putting it all over the patron, not a good idea.
They don't like that.
Apparently they don't. I don't know what's up with that. Okay, so we're just going to split this into two. I'm going to take a strainer, just like that. Yes, we're using the Inuele glasses. I could pull out like glasses from back here. So like this would be a perfect glass to serve this in if we were going to do like a full serving. But I like you guys and don't want us all like this evening. Okay, so what we have here is the Queen's Elizabeth, and you and your lovely husband can split that. And I'll just drink this. Oh wait, no.
I want to try it too.
Okay, fine. You can try that.
You try it.
Okay.
Do we get the face? We do not get the
You
face.
do not get the face. It is not
It's not what
something I'm going to order.
I wouldn't have suspected with dry vermouth,
Yeah.
but
But now you have something you can use the Benedictine.
Oh, yes.
you like dry
It
vermouth?
takes the
Yep.
lime right up and over the top.
Yeah.
It's like it frames it somehow. Yeah. Yeah.
I would, if I could do this again, I would double strain it
Got little ice shards
because
in
there's
there.
little ice shards in it, which adds like a little crunchiness to it that I'm just like, it should be like just bright and crisp and yep, that's tasty. If you, it reminds me
Comes in with that like
that almost honey element to it. Yep.
licorice almost.
You know, it
has many.
wouldn't be bad with a splash of the seed lip in there either. Yeah.
Thank you.
So there you go, Queen's Elizabeth.
Thank you.
And let's see, just in case you wanted to know, so vermouth, this vermouth is coming in at 18.4% alcohol.
And what vermouth is that?
This is Ransom dry vermouth. We want to remember that. That's pretty tasty stuff. And your B&B is coming in at 43%. So that's a pretty low ABV, in terms of cocktails. That's not a huge ABV there. And that would be, something
out of Oregon.
out of Oregon.
Ransom Spirits out of Oregon.
That is so light. It would be like, let's sit out on the patio and have a little of this before dinner kind of thing. Or that would be really nice with a charcuterie tray with some cheeses. And, yep. That would be quite tasty in that regard. Where is this? Okay. Sorry, I just get in the mode and I'm just like, yeah, okay, rinse this and put it over here, and then we go on to our next drink. That's the way things work. Did you want more of this, or are you
No,
good?
you
You're good.
can have it.
You can have it. Not her thing. She's not a big vermouth fan, so we'll see. She really can't stand Manhattans. It's like, oh, I don't like rye. I don't like vermouth. I don't like them together. Okay. Let's see. What else are we doing? So next drink up is. Do I want to do that one? Let's do that one instead. So we're going to switch, and we're going to go, instead of a dry vermouth, we're going to go with the sweet vermouth, which is here. Yes, here. And this is actually a rum-based drink. So we're going to see how this works. This is, I wouldn't say that this falls into the tiki canon, but there's no sour component to it. There's no lime juice or anything in there, so it's not entirely balanced in that regard. But it is a rum-forward drink. So this is called Born on the Bayou, and unfortunately I do not remember exactly where I came up with this particular recipe. It's very likely it was sitting on someone's Etsy page. So we'll see how this goes. We're going to do the Benedictine, which is the sweet component, sweet vermouth, secondary sweet component, but also a little on the bitter side because that's what vermouth is. Light rum, which is coming from their cabinet. We have the Bacardi Superior, and then we needed some dark rum or some aged rum. And what we're going to go with is, and we're going to leave this with them because this is a really exceptional blend of rums that can go with just about anything, and it's quite tasty. It also makes an extremely good Mai Tai if you were so inclined to make Mai Tais at some point. The Denizen 8, very, very yummy. And then 2 dashes of bitters. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to put all this together. We're going to shake that up, and we're going to serve that as a cocktail. Okay, so next thing.
It's from Cocktail Virgin, and then Virgin's crossed out Cocktail Slut.
Okay, well. So a former virgin, now a slut, made this cocktail. Okay. Well, you know, I don't have to worry about that changeover, so we're good. All right, 3/4 of an ounce of the Benedictine. Again, we're using B&B, which is slightly different blending than Benedictine, but it'll be fine. When I was searching for cocktails, I must say that unlike often when I will put in some strange ingredient that I have run across and want to know what cocktails I can make with it, and I come up with like 4, you know, and it's like, oh, maybe I have to be a little more creative with what I'm going to do here. Cocktails involving Benedictine, oh, there are lots of them. There was a lot of, well, I could make that drink at home, or I could make that drink at home, or I could make that drink at home, or I could make that drink here, but I'd have to buy these 4 ingredients and leave them. I was like, no, 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 no. So that's why we're trying to keep this simple with the ingredients. 3/4 of an ounce of sweet vermouth. We did buy this bottle of Rossi and then later found small mini bottles of the Camparo Antica, which would be my sweet vermouth of choice. But this will work just fine.
Now you have mini Carpano Antico to travel with.
Yes, yes. I mean, literally the little mini airplane bottles of Carpano Antica, which, you know, is going to be so much better than an airport Manhattan. It's so good. 1 ounce light rum. So we're simply going to go with the Bacardi Superior. It's what we have on hand. We could probably substitute the seed lip for all of the rum components of this, and it would be a very interesting flavor. Probably good. I won't say for sure that it would be good, but probably very interesting. And then we're going to do 1/2 ounce of the Denizen. So the Denizen rum, particularly the Denizen 8, was intended, it was blended to be an analog for the Ray & Nephew 17, which was the original rum used in the original Mai Tai. And so this rum was designed to mimic that flavor, which is why it shows up in Mai Tais all over the place. And it's very nice that Denizen has suddenly gotten a lot more prolific in the United States, so you can find it.
Affordable.
And it is quite affordable. Yes, it is not like a $60 bottle of rum or something along those lines.
No, it's under 30.
2 dashes of bitters. Now, not having, no wait, 1 dash of bitters, sorry. Not having made this before, I've got all sorts of choices here for bitters. We have the standard Angostura bitters. Now, that would be probably the straightforward place to start. Earl Grey bitters. I'm not thinking, not the Earl Grey will, yeah, I think not this time around. We do have the tobacco bitters from Marie Laveau. That might not be too bad. What is this? This is the tart cherry and sassafras bitters. Again, really like this bitters. I don't think this is the right spot for it. Orange bitters, if the drink had called for orange bitters, it would have said orange bitters. So I'm just going to put that aside. And then we have Peychaud's. Peychaud's is another aromatic bitters that could go quite fine with this. I think I'm going to go with the Peychaud's for this one. And the reason being is that Peychaud's is also a bitters that was created down in New Orleans. And if the drink is called Born on the Bayou, this seems like an appropriate dash of bitters to go in there. You see, I have to work through all my bitters and figure out which one I want to use. I think that's just a nice problem to have when you're traveling. Okay, we're going to do more ice. What did I do with that glass? I don't know. We're just going to go here. Okay, shaky, shaky. So I have noticed that my shaking style has changed a little bit. I used to have it way back here and doing this. And since I got the rotator cuff tear, I've been pushing it forward a little more. I think it's just a little easier on the shoulder.
So same length of throw.
Pretty much the same length of throw. Yep, I would hope. I haven't noticed any real differences in the cocktails, so that's probably a good thing. Okay, there we go. Sure, let's use different glasses for this. Let's go ahead and use these. Those are different. For Mary and Jack, my bar sits about here, and I have all of my glassware underneath here, which is all the bamboo pattern glassware that I got from Mom and Dad. And so, it's like whatever I need is just like, okay, open the cabinet, grab that, unless I'm going with the tiki mug, and then it's like, hon, go over to the cabinet and fetch me that one over there. Right? What am I doing? I need a strainer. This may have the same problem as the previous one, so I'm going to double strain. Fine mesh strainer, your Hawthorne strainer.
So those mini ice crystals that were.
Yeah, you can see the mini ice crystals being caught in the sieve here. What did I do? We're pretty close?
Yeah.
And it just goes like that. Throw that in the sink. Ta-da. It does not say anything about doing a twist or anything else. That's what I didn't put in the cocktail kit this time, is my channel knife. Otherwise, I would have done, I would do
You
that.
have an extra one to keep in there.
Yes, I do. So what we're going to do is we're just going to use a knife, like such.
And then you're like, oh, now I remember why I have a channel knife.
Yeah.
'Cause it makes it so much easier.
And we're just going to do that. Drop that in there.
A little different than a peeler. It does have a
Yep.
Thingy.
Yep. There we go. There we go.
there we go.
Ta-da. Pull that out. And we'll hand that to Jack
Well, now I'll hand it to my lovely wife.
and their lovely wife. And this, the Born on the Bayou.
Oh, that smells delicious.
And if I were home, I would have used the Louisiana Bayou rum that I have.
Ooh.
Oh, that's not an unhappy face.
No.
You found a drink that's got sweet vermouth in it that you like? What?
Because the sweet vermouth and the Benedictine are kind of rolling around together. And
Takes its time.
Yeah. It actually has a little in common with a Manhattan in its flavor profile. If you think a rum Manhattan, this is similar.
but it doesn't have the bitter top end. Because I think the Benedictine smooths
Moves that out.
Yeah.
Takes time on your tongue.
Mm-hmm.
It just keeps
I think some of that is probably also the Denizen. That Denizen has got
Yeah.
some pretty complex flavors rolling
Yeah.
through it. Actually, let me do. I need a teaspoon. Where would I find a teaspoon? Oh wait, no, I have a bar spoon right here. I can do that. We're gonna do
You're
experiment.
in play.
I'm gonna play. because I want to see what the addition of like the orange and clove is going to do with this. So just a little bar spoon. And how awful is this? I'm not sure I noticed. Well, no, there's a little difference there. I can't say whether I like it or not.
Nope.
She doesn't like it. Okay. Too much clove.
Yeah, too much clove.
It probably plays up the orange citrus point that it
Yeah.
doesn't need to be there. All right. Well, fine. Don't do that.
You like that?
I like
Excellent.
Okay.
Ah. No, that's yeah, that's nice, and there is a complexity to that I was not expecting. Especially since I'm actually not a huge fan of the Martini and Rossi Rosso in terms of a generic sweet vermouth, but it worked entirely well there. I'm very, very pleased. We are rocking through this, right? We're not even a half hour in.
Well, then you might have to make 4 drinks.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I should try using the seed lip in place of one of the major rum ingredients here. But I think the next thing to do, though, is go on with the drink that is supposed to be sort of the classic in the tiki line of things, which is a drink called the Voyager, which was originally designed by master mixologist Robert Hess. And this uses as its sweetener ingredient both the Benedictine and a little falernum. And so I happen to carry with me falernum and allspice dram because I'm a tiki geek. And obviously I've been using more falernum than I have allspice dram. The allspice dram is a much more potent baking spice, heavy forward allspice flavored liqueur. And the falernum is a little more it's ginger, lime. What's the ingredient I'm forgetting that is the primary ingredient in falernum?
Well, it's much like orgeat.
It's a little almond. Yes. Duh. Yeesh. I should have checked. Nobody here is allergic to anything, right? No. Okay. All right. Good. Okay. So Voyager. What are we doing for the Voyager? This got cleaned. Yes. Yep. Okay. So the Voyager starts with a ½ ounce of falernum. I have high hopes for this cocktail. ½ ounce. Well, this is going to be the only one we do this evening, I think, right? Do I have? Yeah, I don't have enough to do another. Okay. So we're just going to hope here. Because if I mess this up, oh well. All right. Dun, dun, dun. Next up, 1/2 ounce of lime juice. Once again, I'm taking the most sweet and sticky ingredient and putting that in my jigger first, and then following it up with citrus in order to clear out the jigger and get the most of that. This generally goes along with the lines of use your cheapest ingredient. Your cheapest ingredient should go in your cocktail blender shaker first. That way, if you mess something up, you haven't just thrown away a shot of $60 alcohol because you overshot on the lime juice or something along those lines. So if this were to go away, it wouldn't be that big a deal, other than the fact that I don't have enough falernum to do another one. So a little touchy. ½ ounce of the Benedictine.
Is this your new gig? Is you have an old dusty bottle that you need to know how to use, and you'll come and show you how to use it?
If you have an old dusty bottle of something, please let me know. I will show up and show you how to use it, or I'll just drink it, one or the other. Next up, 2 ounces of aged rum. How aged? What type? Do you want column still? Do you want pot still? Do you want a blend? Do you want Jamaican rum? What do you want? I don't know, so I'm going to go with the Denizen. So the Denizen is also a combination of rum agricole and Jamaican style rum. So you automatically get a couple of rums in here with this blend. So it's perfectly fine to use in this case. And it has been partially aged 8 years. Yep, that is the age statement. Oak aged, because everything's oaked. Because, so you know why, right? Everything pretty much is aged in oak barrels. Yes.
Why?
Because bourbon has to, by law, use virgin oak barrels. They have to be charred, which means you make your batch of bourbon and those barrels can no longer be used at your facility for making bourbon. So there is a lot of bourbon barrels out there. And so people are like, well, they're cheap. I'm going to go ahead and age my stuff in there. Often you'll see things that are finished in something else, but primarily the aging is going to be in oak casks. They're usually previously aged oak casks because they've had bourbon in them, because those are so much cheaper, and because the bourbon manufacturers buy up all of the virgin oak because they have to have it. All right, 2 ounces? I think it's 2 ounces. Yes, 2 ounces. There's one. Yes, I could have flipped the jigger over and just done it that way. That would have been the easy way to do it. I know.
Hey, you opened the bottles before the...
I did. I opened all of... I think I opened all of the bottles ahead of time. I think that's it, right? Okay, we have 2 dashes of bitters that need to go in this. It didn't say anything about the bitters that need to go in here. They're probably aromatic bitters. So I'm wondering what we should do here. I think maybe we go with a standard dash of Angostura, but then grab the Marie Laveau for a slightly different, for second dash. So once again, just to let you know, the Marie Laveau tobacco bitters are not actually made with tobacco. And there's a very good reason for that. So nicotine is highly alcohol soluble. Nicotine in high quantities is a poison and will kill you. And so it is very, very hard to get the right level of extraction without going through extreme measures. And if you do that right level of extraction, you don't get the right tobacco flavor. So these bitters are created not using any actual tobacco, but they use a variety of different herbs and other things in order to create sort of a tobacco-y, leathery taste, which I really like in drinks like this.
We have a Cam.
We have a Cam. Hi, Cam.
Hey, we saw your folks.
We did see your folks yesterday. We spent several hours with them.
Yeah.
I got to spend some time cooking with David in the kitchen. We had some risotto and we had some salad, and that was all pretty tasty. All right, double check falernum, right? Lime juice, yes. Benedictine, yes. Aged rum, yes. Bitters, yes. Robert Hess, no, that's the name. Okay, we're good.
Amanda's liking all the NOLA references.
All the NOLA references, yeah. Amanda, do you have a connection to NOLA, Amanda? That really is good. Wow, I may have to make more of that. What? Oh, you're cleaning that? Okay. I need more ice for this. Right. Yep. Oh, the Born on the Bayou, because it doesn't have any lime juice in it, I could have done that as a stirred cocktail as well.
Right.
And that would not have generated the ice chunks, and we wouldn't have gotten quite as much dilution. I don't know if that would have been better or worse. We might have to go back and try that again and do it as a stirred cocktail and see how people like it. Because we got time, I think.
Yeah. Oh, and we have a Ruth.
Hi, Ruth.
Hey, Ruth, we're just down the road. Oh, down the highway.
And apparently there's a really nice rum bar in Lawrence now that we've moved.
Yeah.
And we're not going to get a chance to hit it, which
Next trip.
makes me pouty. Why do you open a speakeasy after I leave? Or maybe you didn't, and I just didn't know about it. That could have been. No, I think we would have known, right? We would have found out. Besides, that time I couldn't afford this much rum. By the way, to all you football fans out there, this is loyalty. My team got trounced by the Jets. The Jets of all teams, and I'm still wearing my team colors today. So there, that's loyalty for you. I'm not at all embarrassed. Okay, maybe a little embarrassed, just a tad. All right, glassware, right? What's, shall we use these?
Yeah.
These are different, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm so not, this is one of those things where when you're used to working on your own home bar, it's like, oh, I need a strainer, bang, right? I need straws, they're right there. Where would I get my straws from? Right there.
Side sips.
Right there is where I keep all my Surfside Sip straws. And if you would like some Surfside Sip straws, you can go online and order them from Surfside Sips. But if you want 20% off your Surfside Sips straws, Surfside Sip straws, that's not easy to say after having a few cocktails. You can get 20% off simply by typing in the promo code Lovecraft, Lovecraft, all one word, gets you 20% off, gets us a slight discount on the next order of straws that we're going to make. So there you go. Wow, that comes up right to that line. That's very nice. Very nice. I'm going to take a sniff here, see what I think. It's still too cold to really get a whole lot of nose off of that.
She went to the DC United season finale today. Lost horribly, but Vamos United. So, you know, we all have teams we cheer for that we actually like cheer for them even when they're not great.
Now, we're not going to say that Miami isn't great just because they lost to the Jets today.
I was thinking my Cubs.
Oh, yeah, there's that. But we also lost so we were already playing our backup quarterback that we paid a lot of money to make sure that Teddy Bridgewater would be available for us to be a backup quarterback. And on the very first play of the game, he dropped back to throw a pass, was sacked, dropped the ball. He was recovered for a safety in the end zone, and he suffered a concussion, was out of the game. So our third string, 7th round rookie, Skyler or something or other, had to come in and play, and he showed some signs of being pretty good, but, you know, poor guy. You gonna taste this?
Yep.
I'm giving her all the taste to start with. I don't know why, but here we go. Ta-da. Notice there's no mint. One of the things that when I'm traveling on the road, the first thing that kind of goes away are the garnishes, right?
Yeah.
I don't do so much on the garnishes. We don't have fancy straws and that sort of thing. But I don't, you know, I don't carry cocktail picks with me because cocktail picks are sharp and pointy, and I don't want them confiscating my Dizzy Diva cocktail picks
Yes.
because they're really cool picks. And if you want really cool picks, you should contact Dizzy Diva on Etsy.
Yeah.
Shameless plug.
You're doing your shills even when you don't have the
When I don't have the stuff.
stuff. You're
Oh,
not
that's-
getting this one back.
No? Okay.
This is interesting.
And what do we say about interesting?
So
It has like a pepperiness to it.
I'm actually picking up the Jamaican rum notes in this pretty strongly. The hogo, the funk of the Jamaican rum is coming through on that back end. If you know what to look for, it's very prominent there. Yeah.
And the lime. You get Hogo and lime, and I'm happy.
Right. Well, you're getting the falernum, which,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Unfortunately,
Taking it away from you.
she is, and you know that's just my sad state of affairs. Can't do anything about that. I don't know. It's all going to go away. So there's 3 cocktails using an old bottle of Benedictine, or again, let me correct myself. That's B&B, which is made by the same people that make Benedictine. It's a very similar formulation. I believe the B&B formulation is a sweeter formulation, but don't quote me on that. So had we picked up a bottle of Benedictine, we probably would have gone, wow, these are very different. And then we
'Cause
would have
they
gone,
are,
oh,
yeah.
they are, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so we've done 3 cocktails. We've done some banter. Usually we'd be like, okay, now we're going to sign off. But there were people that really liked the Born on the Bayou. But there was some question, I think, as to whether or not we could substitute the seedlip in for at least part of.
Yeah.
So if I took out all of the rum and replace it all with seedlip, then we would have the Benedictine and the sweet vermouth being the only alcohol in this cocktail. And that would transform it from sort of a standard normal strength cocktail down to a low ABV cocktail, not an absent ABV. And usually people are like, why are you doing that? You're ruining the fact that you're using a non-alcoholic thing. But it's like, what I want to do is take you from alcohol to alcohol, and we'll see how that works. So let's do that. Let's do one of these.
Especially for hot afternoon sitting on your patio.
Or if you happen to know that you have to drive somewhere later, right? We're going to try this also stirred instead of doing the shaken as we did last time. Okay, so we're going to start with 3/4 of an ounce of the Benedictine. See, we're putting a dent, right? And I'm giving you some thoughts on how to use the rest of this. So we're trying here. And of course, if you want the drink recipes, we're going to post them afterwards as part of the comments. And eventually, this will make it onto the YouTube channel. Star, you're up to
57.
the 57th episode, and we are now doing 129. So we're still moving. 3/4 of an ounce sweet vermouth. Three-quarters of an ounce. And then it would be 1.5 ounces of rum. So we're going to go 1.5 ounces of the seedlip. Now, to be honest, seedlip does not advertise this as a rum replacement, right? This is just their Spice 94 aromatic, non-alcoholic thing. Oh, it's cute. It's got a fox on it. If you haven't seen that, the label, that's actually a fox, not just... so that was 3/4 of an ounce. And 3/4 of an ounce. And when your children ask you why they have to study fractions in school, you tell them so that they can make cocktails for mommy and daddy. That's how that works, right? 3/4 of an ounce and 3/4 of an ounce obviously is 1.5 ounces, which is what we're going for here, right? 1.5 ounces. 1 dash bitters. We used Peychaud's last time, so let's go ahead and do that.
1.5 ounces is 3 halves.
There we go. All done. We're going to throw some ice in here. Actually, we're not. We're just going to place some ice in here. There is no reason, by the way, when you are stirring cocktails to take your ice like up to the top level of your stir. Basically, as long as the ice is at the top level of and remains that way of your liquid, so you're getting the surface contact, you're fine. Ice that's sitting above your liquid is doing nothing for you. Nothing. All right, so we're just going to do this. Let's stir this. Proper stirring technique, right? So you've got your bar spoon, got 2 fingers over, 2 fingers under, right? That goes in so that the back of the bar spoon is against the back of the glass here, and you are pulling forward and pushing back. So pull forward with these fingers, push back with the lower fingers, and you'll just move back and forth. If you have a slight grip on this, the curve here will just cause this to twirl in your hand, and you will just make a nice smooth circle around here. You're not trying to agitate it. You should not be doing this. That is not what you want to do when you are stirring a cocktail. The whole intent of stirring the cocktail is to get some light dilution, get some water in there, get it chilled without breaking the ice. You don't want the ice chipping. If you are making a martini, for instance, you want that martini to be crystal clear. If you have ice chunks in it, it will not be crystal clear.
I think the metal mixing pint was one of your first travel.
Yes, because usually my mixing pints you'll see at the home bar are all glass, but I tend to not want to travel with a lot of glass because, well, it breaks. Right? The other thing is when you're using a mixing pint like this, you generally use a julep strainer, which doesn't look anything like this. But there's no reason why you can't use a Hawthorne strainer. It works essentially.
What?
This is a Hawthorne strainer. right? Hawthorne strainer is denoted by the fact that it has the spring, and the whole point of this is that this piece of it is called the gate, and you can close or open the gate as much as you want in order to allow as much or as little of the ice through. So you want to close the gate on this and make it as tight as possible, and we need glasses for this, right? Walk over here, grab glasses, and then we go here. Oh yeah, oh that's so much clearer. Oh my goodness. If you all remember, the previous cocktail had a little bit of cloudiness to it. Yep, none of that. This is, I mean, it's colored, but you can see through this with no problem. All right, so there we go. We have a Born on the Bayou using the seed lip, was it Spice 94? Is that what it's called? Yes, Spice 94.
Show the fox.
Yeah, show the fox, please show the fox. So much lighter on the alcohol here because the denizen is 43%. Yeah, 43%. We just cut that from a full ounce and a half of 43% alcohol down to 0% alcohol from that. So.
Much less nose.
Yeah. Does the clove still come through on the nose?
Yes.
Okay. The wife's like, I want rum. Dude, I want rum.
I want rum, I want citrus.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
I mean, I'm usually the designated driver, so
yeah. Being able to have a lower ABV
It's
cocktail.
gentle.
yeah.
I like it.
Yeah.
Oh, I really like that. That is light and refreshing, and yeah, the clove comes through, but it's through. It's a constant note. It isn't like
Yes.
bang, here's clove, and you're like, okay, now I can't taste anything else. For the rest of the evening, all I'm going to be thinking about is goth girls standing outside a club smoking thin
clove
cigarettes.
Yeah.
Not that that's a bad thing. What's that? Where were we the other day that we were coming out of a club or something, or Archipelago, and we walked past, and I'm like, clove cigarettes, and it was like, boom, instantly transported in time.
We were coming out of Green Zone.
Oh, it could be.
Speaking
Speaking
of-
of which, yes.
Chris, happy birthday.
Happy
Chris
birthday,
Green Zone
Chris. Yes. So Chris is
As
the
opposed to other Chris that we visited, her birthday was just a few days
just
ago.
a few days ago.
We got to visit down
As
at
opposed to
Flint Hills.
Chris Powell, who, as far as I know, there's no connection. He's
Right.
just a friend of ours, and
Yeah.
his birthday isn't, as far as I know, anywhere
Yeah.
around here. Yep. Oh, so this is a fantasy football update, which
Delicious.
I actually, this is really nice. And if you were wandering around a cocktail party with this in your hand, nobody would be like, oh, why aren't you drinking this evening? This is absolutely perfectly fine. It's
Elizabeth says it was Renfest.
Was it?
Yeah, with clove cigarettes.
Maybe
That
there.
you made the comment.
Okay.
Keith says goodnight. Elizabeth, how was Renfest with your sweetie?
Yes, Elizabeth, you took your sweetie to Ren Fair. How was that? They borrowed garb from us. Well, he borrowed garb from us. She
Right.
now, after we took her to Renfest one time, she now has a wardrobe.
Yes.
So, I did get everything in here, right? Benedictine, sweet vermouth, light rum, denizen, dash
Yeah.
bitters. Yeah, everything's in here. Nice. I like this. So there you go. I think we're just going to call it quits. We got about 10 minutes to go before we hit the hour mark. There's no
Yeah.
reason why we should drag this out.
Elizabeth said we all had a great time.
Excellent, excellent. We're going to post like I said, the cocktail recipes later. And thank you, Jack and Mary, for sharing your house, letting us do the broadcast from there. Thank you for allowing us to open your bottle of B&B Benedictine and sharing your part of your father's and mother's treasure of alcohol with us. It's not often that you get to open, if it's 70s, we're talking 45 to 50 years old bottle. I did check online, and bottles of Benedictine from the 1960s and 70s are going for, at the high end, like somewhere between 40 and 60 euro.
Right.
So yeah, I did check to make sure we weren't like cracking the bottle on $1,000, bottle or something along those lines. So I did do my research before I would have told you ahead of time, like, you sure you don't want to just auction this instead? But, yep. So thank you very much for allowing us to share this, and I hope we've shown you some things you can do with Benedictine or B&B, and we're going to leave you with some of this, and hopefully you enjoy. The Denizen also makes a really killer rum and coke if you just want to like mix it with rum and coke.
Yeah, it does.
It's also, if you want something just to do these sophisticated, I'm going to throw an ice cube in a rocks glass and just have some rum. It's a perfectly reasonable sipping rum as well. It takes a little getting used to because of that combination of the rum agricole and the Jamaican rum. For those of you tuning in that don't remember the difference, so most of your Jamaican rums are made from molasses. Rum agricole generally is produced in French territories, and they produce it from fresh sugarcane pressings. Tends to be a little more on the pricey side because, well, you can't store fresh sugarcane pressings. I mean, literally it has to be hours from the sugarcane is cut and pressed to it going into the fermentation tanks. But it has a very different flavor to it, very definitely much more grassy notes to it than your typical molasses rum. If somebody offers you an agricole rum, be prepared for the fact that it is not going to taste like your usual molasses rums. Still a rum, still an alcohol produced from sugarcane products, but its taste is going to be very, very different. And for some people, it's very much an acquired taste. Acquired that taste. But I've also acquired a taste for Barbados rum and Jamaican rum and Fijian rum and rum in general.
Belize.
Yeah, so Belize. We have a bottle of Belizean rum from Belize.
But not Madagascar.
I have had rum from Madagascar. I would rather drink vanilla extract because that's pretty much what it tasted like. Yeah, no, we're not going to do that. Okay, now we've bantered for another 5 minutes, so we should go ahead and shut this off. Good night, all. Thank you for tuning in. This has been Lovecraft Cocktails, episode 129. I still don't believe this, of Quarantiki. And, God willing, we'll be back here, God or whatever God's willing, I guess.
Yeah,
we
we'll
are
be back at our
Lovecraft
home bar
Cocktails.
next week.
We'll be back at the home bar and beginning to think about prep for a haunted tiki party and what we're going to do for that. May revisit some old drinks that we've done in the past for that. So adios, goodbye, and drink well. And I'm going to shut this off now, which involves hitting the big red button and then me taking a drink and you watching me fade away as I drink.